Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing this morning? Ooh. Apparently things are going slow because the messages are coming in groups. But good morning, everyone. Morning, Ginger. Radka, Matthew, Big John Doe, KS, Carla, Scott, Patty, Blue Mermaid. Good morning. Young Forever, Bree, Natalie, Linda K. Good morning. Scott B, Melinda, Kevin, Aljara, Irish Eyes, Matthew, Firefly, Freda, Cheryl, Judah, Baroness Fahrenheit. Good morning. I hope you are all doing well this morning. I'm good. I'm a little bit on the tired side. I just got back into town about an hour ago. Big John Doe, Minnesota Vikings blow. What's new? I'm sorry. Spent most of my life rooting for the Vikings or the Packers. We never really got anywhere. Let's see. Linda K agrees with you. Well, I know you said you don't want to talk about the Watts, but I do. I am curious about how you feel about the book, Young Forever. It's not that I don't want to talk about the book. The reason why I don't want to discuss the book is I haven't read it, and I feel I would be doing an injustice to my fans and everyone out there by giving a review to a book that I haven't read. Now, setting that aside, what do I feel about the actual fact that the book is coming out? It's kind of like along the same lines of the movie. I think both of them they have the right to write the book because we do have the freedom of speech, and the First Amendment does protect them for both on those grounds. But I'm not going to be going out to rush out to buy the book or to see the movie. I will avoid it on the grounds of just poor taste. Alone. I mean, I don't see the need for it. I know that really doesn't answer your question, but that's how I feel. I mean, they do have the right to write the book. I don't know if it's going to be factual. I have no idea who she, got to give her the information. Is she basing it solely on just what is out there in the media? Just like the movie, I have no idea where they came up with the script for it. Oh, Red Sox. Yeah. Tina, good morning. I took a video of Stephen King's house for your wife. How can I get it to you? Well, you can go to the About. So you go to my main page on YouTube, and you'll see the intro video, and down below there's a series of tabs across the bottom, and the very far right one is About Me, and you click on that, and it gives a brief description of the actual channel, and below that there's a gray box that says email. You click on that, and that should bring up an email link, and it may ask you if you are a robot. Do not answer yes if you are a robot, and then it should give you my email address, so you can then email it to me, the link. Or you could just post it on, I don't know, YouTube yourself, and then You don't have to, I don't know if you have a channel or not, Tina, but I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Red Story Sanders, good morning. Triggered Warning, Red Sox. Yeah. Thank you so much, Will, for answering that. You're welcome. Blue Mermaid. I know I'm in the UK, but I followed this case and I agree with you. Thank you. You think they're going to win it this year, Firefly? You know, I watched the Patriots game the other night. I was out of town I was helping a friend move from my city. He's moving approximately about 3 hours away. And I watched that game, and you know, the first part of the game, they didn't look all that great. There's a lot of holes in the Patriots football team right now. Number one, Brady's got to have somebody to throw the damn ball to. I mean, besides, you could double team Edelman, and then there would be nobody for him to throw to, really. That and Izzo, the tight end who's coming up. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to win 7 this year. I think that if there's a couple teams in the NFL that are going to give them a run for their money. I think Patrick Mahomes down there, and he's with the Kansas City Chiefs. They may put if they can get Tyreek Hill and a couple other people back before the end of the season, they're going to give them a run for their money. I don't know if the Seahawks will do it. I mean, I hope they do, because I'm a huge Seahawks fan, but I don't know if they ever will. I don't know if this is really the year, unless they start playing a lot better. And the Seahawks' number one issue is their offensive line. We all have to have faith, Firefly. And by the way, that was my daughter's favorite TV series when it was on the air. She actually helped push, for them to bring it back. Firefly. Hi, I'm just Karen. Good morning, guys. Just chilling in Pittsburgh. Good morning. I bet it's cold in Pittsburgh this morning. I know it's cold here. Yeah. Donkey Kong 80. Good morning. Eve HSV. Good morning. Sheila Ryder. Good morning. Now, it's something new. I'm just looking at this. I'm sorry for the pause there, but everybody has a YouTube logo next to theirs. I don't know if you guys are seeing this or not, but it's shown. I can now stream live here to YouTube, and I can stream live on Facebook as well. I think that's why it's showing me the logos. It's not streaming on Facebook right now. I didn't click on that to actually do it. But they now make it available to, you can either stream live on YouTube and on Twitter. I'd have to pay for the premium account, and then I could stream on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube all at the same time, 3 of them. But I figure, right now I'm just doing YouTube. Will, have you heard any news on Carly Kate? No, Sassy Frath. I have not. That's one of the cases that I should have been following, but I really dropped the ball on. I read up on a little bit on Patrick Frees, and then I just got busy with other things, other cases. I'm sorry. Good morning, Dawn. I have a sister named Dawn. That's how we pronounce it like that, dawn, like the morning dawn of the light. Then my family, my in-laws, they all pronounce her first name Don, like D-O-N, but we pronounce it from back in Wisconsin, Minnesota. We pronounce it Dawn. Will needs a vacation. I just took a vacation about a week ago. I would love to take a vacation back to Wisconsin. See, a week ago, I took a little mini vacation for 3 days. Went and played in a charity golf tournament. We raised. I have the totals here. Get on my notes. Okay, we for Corbin, who is an individual. He belonged to a mentoring group that I'm part of. He died of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma about a year ago, and he left behind a wife and she was at the time 8, so I think she's almost 10 now. But we set up a college fund for her. At the golf tournament and silent auction, we raised an additional $6,341.18 to put into her college fund. Now, we call it a college fund, but it's not necessarily just for college. She'll get the access to it when she turns 18. If she decides that she wants to go to community college or do something else, then she can use the money for that. And every year we play in this golf tournament, we put a little bit more into her college fund. On top of that, we started a fund for another little girl who lost her mother to breast cancer. And for her, we raised $7,209.01 from the silent auctions and everything else and donations that went into it. And the reason why we raised so much more this year as compared to last year when we started all this is just this past, I think it was April, we are now a 401c3, a nonprofit. So 100% of the money that people donate, they can write off of their taxes, and we give them the receipt and they can write it off. Have I ever been to Hayward, Wisconsin? No, not that I'm aware of, Big John Doe. I'm not really. Where's Hayward at? I mean, I may have been there. I've got family all over the damn state, all the way from up by the Great Lakes, all the way down to just over the down by the Ohio border, down that direction. I'm from Prescott, Wisconsin, but I've got family, a lot of family in the area around Madison and a lot of family in Minnesota as well. What cases are you planning to follow now? Irish Eyes. Right now I have about 12.5 videos that are done, that are on YouTube, that are unlisted. And one of them is on Jones. So that would be Matthew Edgar Jones Jr. I have that video done. That will probably come out probably Monday. I want to say Monday. But a lot of the videos, I mean, I make the video, I edit, I do, get them complete. I upload them to YouTube, but I have to list them unlisted when I first put them up, because YouTube demonetizes each and every video that I upload, and then I have to file an appeal, and that takes 7 to 10 days on every video that I upload for them to decide if they're going to monetize it or not. If they decide not to monetize it, then I decide, do I put it on YouTube, or do I put it on Patreon, or do I send it over to my friend and it goes behind a paywall over on his website? Big John Doe, nope, I do not. I do not live in Wisconsin. I still have a family farm there. I live out in Washington State, sir. But we have our family farm out on Highway 14. It's about 2 miles outside of Prescott, going towards Madison. And then we have a home in town That's just about a block away from the main strip in town there, on Sycamore Avenue. Linda, what was my favorite winter sport besides hockey? Because I don't know of anybody that grew up there that didn't hockey. I was really into cross-country skiing. Good morning, UK. Good morning, lifestyle. Answer? Well, I'm scrolling up here. There's a lot of comments here that came in. Rupal, good morning, Rupal. Eric Lane, why don't you look into the Ohio axe murders of 1910? Very intriguing. What are we speaking of today, Chris? Whatever you want, Chris. If you have a question, or if there's something that you'd like to talk about in the community and everyone else here would like to join in, and that's what we talk about. These are open every Saturday. I do the same. It's the same thing. It's an open Q&A, and we talk about anything and everything. When we've covered the NFL a little bit this morning. We've covered Christopher Watts, the book and the movie. This is just me sitting here talking to friends. That's all it is. That's all I ever want you to think about. It's like, hey, look, we're just sitting around talking. And I'm enjoying a cup of coffee. You can go grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea or a beer or, a bottle of bourbon, whichever you prefer. It's up to you. Let's just talk. I have no agenda. Trigger warning, I lived in Ballard. Ballard's pretty. A little expensive to live up there, though. Hockey games are a lot of fun to go to. I went to a school in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, that the school was built in, I think, 1910. From 1910 until the 1980s, so like for that 80 years, or it was there. Then up until I left there. I mean, obviously, I didn't go to school there for 80 years, but they never closed the school for snow or weather related. And we had an outdoor hockey ring there on the school grounds. And whenever they filled it up, and they'd take care of the ice. But whenever the pipes or something like that would go, bad in the school, or the teachers just didn't like you, they'd send you out to the hockey rink, girls and guys. And then we just beat the crap out of each other playing hockey. That was you can't get away with that stuff anymore, but that's the way it was when I was there. Good morning to you, Will. Good afternoon. 16:30 in the UK. Good morning. Well, 16:30. It's 4:13 in the afternoon or evening there. Will, I just watched an interview with Bunny, the neighbor, and her video. F the Botham and Amber case was on African Diaspora Channel, and the aftermath of her safety and response. Wow. I'm gonna have to see if I can find that video later. Chris is gonna go get coffee. Lifestyle hockey school. Probably a stupid question. How is Arkansas pronounced? Well, Blue Mermaid, I pronounce it Arkansas. There are other people who pronounce it Arkansas. I don't know if there's right or wrong. I mean, out here on the West Coast, there's a state that's called Oregon, and people pronounce it Oregon. Other people pronounce it Oregon. Other people, if they add an E or they highlight the O in the pronunciation, that's just people. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to really pronounce, names of places. I mean, people, just like my sister's name, people pronounce it Dawn, and other people pronounce it Don. I sent a message through Facebook page. I couldn't find the email address anywhere. I'm sorry, Tina. I will look for it. Hold on 1 second. I don't see a message yet. I don't see Oregon. Downington at Gabby. Is that how you pronounce that? Good morning. Downtown Gabby. Okay. Dana Schmida. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna start doing something like that. Irish Eyes. I don't know if it would necessarily work with you, but some of these live streams on Saturdays, I'm just going to invite people to come on and join with me. I've had Linda on once. She's a hoot. Love Linda. Maybe I can get you on, Ginger, one of these days. I'd have to go back into the settings. I don't have the screen down below to send you the share link right now. I'd have to go back in and do it, and I don't want to have to take away from the time to do this. So another weekend we'll do that. Oh, Mammy Love. Good morning, Mammy. Lady Wish. I dreamt about your husband, Miss Jagger. Miss Jagger. Short and nice. Short and nice. That should be like the screen name for my sister. I had 4 sisters. Only have 3 that are still alive. But the sister is just below me in age. Let's start with the oldest. Oldest one is just about 6 foot tall. Then the one who passed away was about 5'6", so about 4 inches shorter. Then then I'm in the middle child, and I have 2 sisters. I have 2 sisters who are still alive that are younger than me. The next one is about 6 foot, and then the youngest one is about 5'7", 5'6". And we used to call the youngest one, we used to call her Half Pint or Shorty. Yeah, I know you guys wanted to know that, right? What's wrong with me? Nothing. You're in the UK, aren't you? So I was just thinking about the time difference. If to bring you on live. Irish Eyes, there's nothing wrong with you at all. Nothing at all. You have to listen to Explore Human Behavior. You do. You most certainly do, sweetheart. You most certainly do. Short and nice. Short and nice is 5'2", and there's nothing wrong with 5'2", unless you want to reach anything over this tall on the shelf at a grocery store. I kid. See, RuPaul's a mighty 5'4", so there. Red Story Sanders, 5'8". I have a friend that I went to college with. He is 7'3" and about 310 pounds and all muscle. That boy standing next to me, I look like a freaking dwarf next to him. Sounds good. Just let me know. Yeah, what I would need in order to bring someone on to the live stream, the first thing that I would need is an email address so I can actually send you the link, because otherwise if I post a link in the comment section over there, that everybody else would see it, and then they could click on it, and then they could join. It worked out great when I had Linda on, because I already have her email address saved into my contacts, and I can bring up the side drop down menu with the name. Ooh, Brad Storrs used to live next to Sean Bradley. Be cool to meet him. He was a good basketball player back in the day. How tall am I? I am just about 6'1". So you're pretty darn close there, Rupel. Pretty darn close. I think on my driver's license it says 6 foot. But the older I get, and I'm slowly curving over. You missed the one with Linda? I think that was, well, it obviously wasn't last weekend, because last weekend I didn't do a live because I wasn't in town. So I think it was the week before that. Dana Schmida. I check my pictures regularly. So you do have to let them in. It was fun. I got a kick. I really do. And I'm really sorry for assuming that you have had a couple of hottie toddies, drinks before you go on live, Linda. I really did. I mean, you guys, you ladies, when you guys were talking about storming, Area 51, I really thought when I watched those live streams that not only you, but the other two ladies, I thought that you guys were having a couple of beverages. You really do have a great time because you're a great individual, and the stories just fly. No, I assumed the wrong thing, and I'm sorry for that. And okay, Mom. So did you guys hear the key? Where'd it go? The key witness for the cop case in Texas got murdered? Yeah. They just caught and arrested the second individual in that case. Apparently, it was a drug deal gone bad. But of course, if you listen to the conspiracy theories, the police had him murdered, so he couldn't testify in the civil wrongful death suit. So you're talking about the Amber Geiger case there. The neighbor for Anger Geiger, who testified in the actual trial, but he was supposed to, and he was on the witness list for the civil trial. Oh, Angel Eyes, good morning. I'm sorry if I missed you. Listen, sounds like my Wi-Fi. Do you have your channel? No, I don't hear anything on this end. There's a little bit of noise over here on my end, but I mean it's almost next to nothing. The heating for the garage here went out, and I can't get anybody to come out to actually fix it until Tuesday. They have to come out and because the garage and the wing where I used to do have the studio at have their own central heat and air. It's separate from the home. I don't know why. I didn't design it. I just bought the damn place this way. But I can't get anybody to come out and fix it until Tuesday. And okay, Mom, you didn't know about the drugs, and the neighbor. That's what they're saying. I mean, at least that's what was on, I believe, on Channel 4 news there. That would be, I believe, the ABC or CBS affiliate that was talking about it, that it was a drug deal gone bad. I don't know if that was official or not. There are, Linda, every once in a while, when I really need a good laugh, I go back and I watch the Jello video. That is absolutely comical gold. How did her finals go? She one class she didn't think she was going to do so well in, so I think she said she changed it to an audited class. So basically, the grade or something, I think it's called an audit, but basically the grade won't hurt her GPA. The other class, she got a B in, and I can't remember what she said she got in the. She had to take a mathematics class, which, I mean, I don't know what a psychologist or someone in a psychotherapy field is going to do with geometry, but she had to take geometry. Then it was either geometry or calculus. She's like, what the hell am I going to do with this in the field that I work in? So she works in the medical field now, and she doesn't use any of it. Blue Mermaid, she has coffee, Irish Ice, drugs. Well, thank you. I did that on the fly, 5 minutes outfit, and winged it with camera with no edit. It's hilarious. If you guys had to go over to Linda's channel and check out her content, she puts out some excellent content. And search for the Jello video. It's hilarious. Now, I'm going to be just up. See, there we go, ladies. Thank you very much for subscribing to her. TCL has the Geiger one up already. Oh, True Crime Loser. I'm sorry. I mentally think there for a second. I'm going to be right here. I'm not gone. I can still see your comments and I can still reply. You'll never guess what I'm doing. I love Scott. Scott's content is he does an awesome job. I keep on checking. I got a lot of friends who are stand-up comics, and I keep on checking to see if if I can find him on tour anywhere. Scott, Sharp, True Crime Loser. Good guess, Linda. I mean, lady. Good guess. Thank you, Linda. My 2-phase 411 in TCL. I want to see him do a stand-up. If you've never had a chance to see his older video, I don't know if it's on True Crime Loser. It might be on underneath his old channel, Scott Sharp. But you can look him up and watch the video of him doing the stand-up at his sister's wedding and doing the speech there at the wedding. Probably, I mean, one of the better speeches I've ever heard or seen anybody do at a wedding. A lot of them people wing, and they talk about an embarrassing story or something from their childhood, or, stuff like that. But it's hilarious. Takes a lot of work to do stand up. It's not as easy as you think. Me and my friend, who we might actually do it again, because his schedule is finally starting to work its way out, so he has more time to devote to his YouTube channel, and we might do that again. We challenged each other to do a stand-up. He wrote the jokes for me. I wrote the jokes for him. You get them 4 days beforehand, and then you have to shoot the video in an unedited, all at once. So you have 4 days to go over the material, learn the punchlines and everything else. And that's hard. But we're challenging each other to learn a new trade, a new skill, if you will. Will I go to bed on Friday nights looking forward to your Saturday lives? Thank you, Dana. I appreciate that. I look forward to everyone being here. There are some people that have I haven't seen in a while. Faithful one. Good morning, Faithful. South Pole. We have a South Pole Schmieda. Love his videos about the Delphi Dippity didn't do. Yeah. I get a kick out of it, you know. Stiven. All right, Tina, I will definitely check it out. All right, anybody who can have a YouTube channel, any of you here, talk about anything you want. You never know. See, everybody has a life experience, and we all live through things that no one else, and we may be able to give someone perspective that can help them in their lives. Talk about anything. Talk about true crime. Talk about raising your kids, your dogs, your cats. I mean, I don't know if any of you, I shouldn't say if any of you, I know quite a few of you who are in the comment section right now follow Cece over on with Crime and Coffee, and she's got a YouTube page, channel just for her rooster, which is it's kind of actually interesting to watch, and her, baby this rooster that sometimes likes her, sometimes hates her. Why, Will? Why? She is adorable inside and out. UK, you got a cat, Kevin? Your cat's name is Kevin? I have 2 cats. One I got who just showed up at my old house. The lady who had the cat didn't want the cat back. His name is Tebow. That's what the little girl who had the cat named it, so it just kept its name. And I just got a kitten that we just rescued, and I named it Bogey. And it's a golfing term. And then we have 6 dogs. When he makes fun of her lisp, I crack up. Yeah. Found him on a farm. The very first cat I ever had. We named Fluffy, and she was a all white calico cat, long hair calico. We named her Fluffy. We got her from my great grandfather's farm. Light Feather, good morning. See? Sheila Ratter has 6 fur babies. It's an addiction, Sheila. You start off with 1. Then before you know it, you have 6. And if you're not careful, before you know it, you'll have 16. I've adopted a lot of animals over the years. I have a Saint Bernard. His name is Ozu. My sister has she has a Saint Bernard. Um, Man, that thing drools. And what is her other dog? She has another one that's huge. Mastiff. She has a Mastiff. I can't remember what breed of Mastiff it is, but she has a Mastiff and a Saint Bernard. Those dogs can eat. See, of the 6 dogs that we have, 2 are German Shepherd. Then we have 3 that are mixed. We're not entirely sure on them, but they have kind of like a rat terrier body size. And then the 2 newer ones, well, one is we're kind of watching. Actually, we don't think he's ever going to come back for the dog, but he moved and he asked if since we have such a big place, our backyard is a little over, backyard side yard is a little over an acre, and it's all fenced in. It's a 6-foot wooden privacy fence around it all. And then there's a kennel that was already here on the property when we bought the place. So there's and we put heat and air conditioning into it for them. Not that they use it. They just lay out in the yard when it's hot instead of going inside there where it's nice and cool. Michelle, good morning. What do you think that happened to Joshua Brown? Eric, I don't know who Joshua Brown is. I'm drawing a blank on that, and I'm sorry. I also have a cat addiction. I run a rescue place for cats. I never turned any away. That is really cool of you, Dana. Thank you very much for doing that. It was never our intention to take in all these animals, but Kiki Mercer, 2 Big Macs, fries, and a large Coke. Are you placing your McDonald's order? Oh, Brown. Oh, okay. Now, thank you for the reference. Now I understand. Well, he's dead. In the news, they say that it was a drug deal gone bad. The conspiracy out there is that the police had him murdered, so he couldn't testify in the civil trial. But I don't know how that would really have affected the wrongful death suit that's coming, because it's pretty much a slam dunk. Amber admitted to killing him, and I don't know if they were ever going to go. Are the police going to be responsible for what she did in her off time? That's going to be the interesting part of the civil wrongful death claim. You think witness protection program is a conspiracy theory? Good morning, Carrie. Linda Bells wants to know, what do I think about the Cindy Watts book? I answered this earlier, but I'll answer it again for you. I think the book and the movie are pretty much the same. They have the right to write the book. The First Amendment gives them the right to write the book and make the movie from government intrusion upon them being able to express their opinions or views. Do I think that it's right to do? No. Do I think it's harming or harmful to the Rooshchek family? No, I don't think it is. I don't think that a lot of people have given a serious thought as to it. And I actually have a video that is coming out I was going to release it today, but I still have to finish the editing for it. On the rights that we all have, here in America, and is it victimizing a family by reporting upon the factual information in a case? Now, it's definitely hurtful to a family if you're making everything up like some people are, and that's, I mean, obviously, and stalking and harassing them, like the roost checks are definitely are being harassed. But I think the book and the movie, in conclusion, I'm not going to rush out and buy them. I'm not going to watch the movie, and I have to agree that they have the right to make it, but I think it's still distasteful. Light Feather, you think it's time for a new photo for yourself or your icon? Sorry, I'm rambling on there and I missed a whole bunch of comments. She probably, UK, she probably is still singing it. I really do wonder, though, when it comes to the movie that's coming out, they're currently still filming, what are they basing the script on? Because I think the script that they had written for that movie, I don't think that they, I'm pretty sure that they didn't pay for the rights to have an exclusive from, either the Watts or the Rooster family. So are they basing it solely on what was in the news? I don't know. Are they basing it on the discovery? I haven't heard anything else. The latest from Chris is he was possessed and now he is so sorry to Shannon, Bella, Cece, and Nico. Really? He's an idiot. Why do you think Chris Watts is getting so much attention? Why such an interest in his case? To answer your question, short and nice, why are people, giving so much attention to the Christopher Watts case? A lot of it has to do with just the overall morbid curiosity of human beings since the dawn of man. If when we were Neanderthals, going back even farther, when you would see someone hitting two rocks together, human nature was to watch that, learn from it, and if they were able to hit those rocks together and start fire, then we said, okay, we hit two rocks together, we get fire. So we learned, and if that person smashed their thumb, we learned not to do that the way that they were doing it. So human nature in our mind is we watch these cases like the Christopher Watts case and alike cases, and we say, look, this is what happened in this case, and we try to make sense of it. And we hope that somehow we're able to see the warning signs in that case so we can stop it or avoid that type of tragedy within our own lives. And that's just human nature. I'm not kidding. I actually talked to a couple of my wife's professors about that. If I had a fiance and I met his mom and she was Cindy Watts, I would break up with him straight away. Life is too short to deal with people like her. She's nuts. But I don't know. I've dated a lot of people before I met my wife, and my mother-in-law is awesome, by the way. But I've dated a lot of people. I've met a lot of crazy parents over the years, and I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd run the other direction. But then again, you are, if you marry someone like that, and you are marrying into that family. She is delusional. Like others, she is very much delusional. But I don't know. I try to put myself in that situation. If something like that happened with my child, I don't think I'd come off very sane. Andrew, she is toxic. Trigger warning, you had an ex that was bonkers. My mother is an NSF. I don't know what that means. My mother is batshit nuts. She can't help it though. My mother was in a car accident, a rollover, and she was a Ford Bronco, and she was driving, and she got wrapped up in the steering wheel. And as the vehicle rolled down the road, it rolled on her, and she's a traumatic brain injury, and she has the mentality of a 12-year-old on good days. But she was batshit nuts before that happened to her. And she lives in Minnesota. She's up in, see, Linda. She's in either Brainerd, Minnesota, or she's in the Mankato or Little Falls, somewhere in that area in Minnesota. She was supposed to be living in the Twin Cities, but she decided to go live with her mother, who is in hospice. My grandmother is in hospice. Of course, she's been in hospice for a couple of years. She'll probably outlive us all, even though she's in hospice. My mother was nuts too. No brain damage, just nuts. Yeah. All around there. I'm not. Lady, I'm not. I've never had a good relationship with my mother. Unfortunately. My mother was a self-serving individual her entire life. And good morning, Rain Dancer. I hope you are doing well this morning. But that's just who she was. After my father died, and she lived through a series of terrible relationships, made even more terrible decisions for herself and for her children, and never then cared. Thank you, but we all see, and things like that, and me living through my mother and her, manic depression or whatever the hell she has. Because it was like a freaking roller coaster ride, living with her. Patty Keegan, do I visit my mother? No, I stay very far away from her. But whenever I'm in that area, Little Falls, Brainerd, Mankato, I've got family all over there. I'll go visit them. But I ask them, I'll come and visit you. I'm more than happy to, but I'm not coming to the house if she's there. But everything that I lived through in life, and everything that every one of you have lived through, makes us, we can either grow from it or we can let it, affect our lives. And I choose myself to not have, what she did, and her activities affect me in a negative way. I learn from it and I grow from it. It made me a better person for living through that. So, Andrew, is my foot healed yet? Yeah, it's much better. I don't have the 24-hour pain in it anymore. As long as I'm still icing it a little bit and keeping it elevated. The last X-ray showed that it's the bone is healed all the way across now. So, thank you for asking. Black Rose 11 morning, visiting Arizona, listening. Well, good morning, Black Rose. Hope it's warm down in AZ this morning. We can choose to be bitter or better. Absolutely. It's exactly how I feel about it. Hey, Will, greetings from Port Huron, Michigan. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm sorry about that, Blue Mermaid. No, Kim. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name, Kim, but is it Brundage? No, I didn't like the fact that she spoke illy about Shannon or the girls either. I thought it was the most distasteful thing that she could have ever done. She just kept her mouth shut. Why would she ever thought that putting out a video, talking bad about the her deceased daughter-in-law and grandchildren at that point was a good idea? And for a lot of people are going to forget this, but when she originally released that video, she didn't just release one. There was one that got worldwide circulation, but she put out a total of 5 videos. And then she quickly must have realized, or somebody, smacked her in the face and said, "This is stupid." And she deleted the other 4. Because there were a lot of them. They came back to back to back to back. And they've all been deleted off the internet. I haven't been able to find them. I'm sure if there's somebody out there who, can dive into the deep, dark web, could probably find a copy of them. Oh, all the BS I went through, and it was a lot made me smart ass, and allow so much more because of the crap that I have had in my 57 years. Are you 57, Linda? I didn't think so. You don't look 57. You're looking good, Linda. Didn't think you were 57. No joke. I thought you were maybe 43, 44, somewhere in there. Did not think you were 57. Will you have you ever had a stalker? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. I most certainly have. Yep. Not fun. Not fun at all. Tell you a little bit of story about the story of this lady. I won't mention her name because she is still on YouTube to this day, and she every once in a while pops up on my live streams and in video in the comment section. But she first started writing me letters. It was shortly after I started the YouTube channel. They started off innocent enough. Then she started sending me news clippings of like cases. Nothing wrong there yet. And then she started. She actually caught and got a plane ticket and flew out to my city and was waiting at the post office because I use a P.O. box for my actual mailing. And she was there at my P.O. box. I won't say where she came from, but she came quite a ways. And she tried to follow me around town. I had no idea who she was. She introduced herself, but I had no idea who she was. I was like, hey, I meet people all the time who recognize me, at the grocery store. And I absolutely flat out refuse to allow people to take pictures of me with my child with me. I won't have him, involved in it at all. But yeah, I finally, we got to the point where me and my wife, we were out at dinner and we're just like a week after she showed up at the post office box, she was still here. And apparently she was staying at a local motel she thought that was somewhere near my home. Luckily she wasn't. She was wrong. But yeah, I have had a stalker, to answer your question. And good morning, Kathy. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say hello. I saw you before I started talking about the stalker, and I was like, I don't want to really welcome Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Hey, let's talk about my stalker now. So, yeah, me and my wife finally confronted her and told her, go home. Just go home. Don't make us have to go to the next step where we have to get a restraining order and, to make you go away. Now, I blocked her on YouTube, and I blocked her on Facebook and Twitter, and then she came right back with a new name and new account, profile pictures, and everything else. But every once in a while, she slips up and she'll mention something about, the area or, seeing me or meeting my wife. And I've never been anywhere where someone's recognized me and my wife was with me. I've had my son, I'll be in the grocery store, I've been at the gas station, I've been at a couple other places and people have recognized me. But I will protect my son with every ounce of my life. He doesn't deserve this YouTube thing. And that's the hardest part about doing the live streams, is especially on Saturdays, is right now he is running around being a 3-year-old. And you can't exactly tell people, like, I'm sorry, I have to stop the stream because the 3-year-old's over there trying to jump off of the house. Oh, how long ago was your stalker? That was, see, this is October now, so it would have been January, February of this year. Family first. Always, Andrew. Yeah. Rupel, she took a taxi from the airport to the P.O. box, and apparently the post office box that I use is, there in the city, and I guess they used the GPS or something. I don't know how they figured it out, but that's how they got there. Well, she, the taxi driver, and then she waited around, and I guess for a day or so or whatever, and then she went and rented a car, and sad. But they're out there. 44, 45, and 44, not good enough. Carry a 357 with me. That really get to see you live, but absolutely love your shows. Victoria Myers, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you can make it. Same here, Blue Mermaid. From the airport, she came afar. Quite a disconcerting effort on her part on a plane. Yep. You guys have a fabulous day. Have a great day. Thank you for an awesome show. Check your emails, please. I will, Ginger. I will definitely check my emails later. I'm not going to get into it here. But I will definitely. Everyone, there's. All right. I'm scrolling up here. I missed some comments. 3 is such a cute age, Patty. Yeah. God. Quite different raising a little boy versus a girl. Me and my wife have a 21-year-old, well, 22-year-old daughter, almost. And now we have a 3-year-old son. People are nuts, Kathy. Definitely. I don't know about these days. I don't know if, like, back in the 60s, my my aunt, she stalked the Grateful Dead across America. And she was a deadhead or whatever they called them. And she wanted to get a picture with Jerry Garcia and one with each member of the band. But she wanted a picture desperately with Jerry Garcia, and she wanted his autograph. And she used to have this little black book, and there was blank pages, but she had autographs in it from all the different musicians, that she had. And she was actually very successful at stalking these people and getting photographs and their signatures. She met a lot of really famous musicians over the years. She met everybody from like Janis Joplin to Jimi Hendrix, the Mamas and the Papas. She met a lot of them. My youngest is 1 today. Well, happy birthday, little one. Happy birthday from 411. You had a crazy aunt who took you to see Janis Joplin? I would have loved to have seen some of the bands back then, but bye, Ginger. Groupie. How is it different being an older parent this time around? Honestly, I wouldn't have the energy anymore. How is it different? Well, there's a lot of difference, actually. When me and my wife had our daughter, we were busted broke. We didn't have two nickels to rub together. We lived paycheck to paycheck and just trying to survive, keep the electricity on, and pay our rent. That is the existence that we lived then. Not really knowing where tomorrow was going to come. One setback financially would have completely ruined us when she was younger. And I'd say probably up to about the age of 10, 12, right in there. We lived that way for about the first 10 or 12 years. Then my wife got into the medical field. She got her first degree. She became a phlebotomist, and that changed our lives drastically. She was making more money. By the age of 12, I was out of the service, and I was working for a fertilizer company, I guess you could call it. We made fertilizer for farms, and we also made pesticides and herbicides for uses in residential and commercial applications. This is a fertilizer company. I was making pretty good money then. We got out of our rental home. We bought our first home, and things slowly picked up from there. Now versus now. We're very well, I wouldn't say that we're rich. We're middle class, maybe upper middle class, I guess, all depending on what people's standards are. We don't consider ourselves rich, but we are financially more secure today versus the first child. We have more time now to devote to our son and his upbringing in his life. We don't have the stress that we had back then. Energy, like you said, I am one tired individual all the time. I will retire and be collecting Social Security retirement benefits before my son ever gets out of high school. That's the truth. Ever part of MILTA, like military or a militia? Trigger warning. I've never been part of a militia. I was in the United States Marine Corps for 8 years. Patty Keegan, you're a phlebotomist. My mother-in-law, tell you how my wife got into the medical field and became a phlebotomist. Was my wife was when I first met her, she was working a dead-end job. She was working at 7-Eleven as a working a graveyard shift. Her mother has so many different initials and professional degrees behind her her name and professionally. And she told my wife, "Look, you're not going anywhere in this world working in a convenience store. So what you need to do is you need to get a degree. Go back to college, get a degree." And she said, because she didn't want to. Her mom said, well, okay, her mom at the time was running a medical laboratory. And she had her come in and she showed her how to make slides and help run, do jobs, she made jobs for her in the lab and then showed her. And then when she shadowed her while she would do blood draws to become a phlebotomist. And then she sat for, our state, you have to have training or on-the-job training, or you have to have a degree to become a phlebotomist. So she did that, and she got used to it. And she, her mom hired her to work at the actual where she ran the laboratory, and it went from there. And she did the phlebotomy for 10 years. Sorry, I'm stretching. She did phlebotomy for about 10 years, and then she got into the laboratory sciences. Did that for about another 15 years with the same company. So 25 years working in the hospital lab. And then after that, she went on to, and where she's at now, she works for a company that is, I'm such a bad husband. I should know all this stuff by the top of my head. She works for a company that does the hematology and something. Yeah, that's how bad I am. There's still a 7-Eleven in your hometown? What's 7-Eleven? UK. 7-Eleven is a convenience store. In West London, there's a 7-Eleven. Most 7-Elevens here in the United States are open 24 hours a day, and they don't even have locks on the doors. Slushy puppies. Here they call them just Slurpees, but I guess they call them a slushy puppy there. Slushy puppy is I believe the brand name or the name that they call a slushy at Kmart. which is there's a 7-Eleven on every corner here. There used to, I mean, here in this town, there used to be 12 or 13 of them. But a lot of them, they were corporate run stores, but then they made them into, the people who owned or ran them bought them and they became independent stores. So now they're, Lucky Sevens and 7 Stars. It's the same store. It just changed the name. They're not corporate anymore. They left here years ago. Slushy puppies, LOL. Forgot those. But the 7-Eleven stores that are here now, where I live, they don't have gas stations anymore, but they do home delivery. You can call them up at 2 a.m. in the morning, and they'll deliver beer, cigarettes, bread, formula, whatever. They have their own courier services that deliver, and they're faster than heck compared to, like Grubhub or any of these other food delivery services. Circle K. There's some Circle K's in the nearby town where I live, but not here where I am. My cousin managed one in London in the 80s. He went to live in Massachusetts. No, not a lot of the 7-Elevens around here have gas anymore. My wife worked at one where in a nearby town back then, and in a given night she would sell 300 cases of beer and 400 packs of Marlboro. People would come in, and that's all they couldn't. They had very little English skills, so they would ask for Bud Light, Marlboro, and they expected her to get it, so they used to keep them behind the counter, stocked in a line, and they had like one of those conveyor belt things with the little wheels underneath it, and somebody was in the back, and they just put a pack of cigarettes on it and wheel it out on top of the Bud Light, and it just kept on coming because that's all anybody would come in for: Bud Light and Marlboro. Weird store. You need to move. They don't sell beer in stores there. You have to go to a liquor store to buy it short and nice. I know down in California, you can go into they don't have state-run liquor stores like they do here. And you can go into a 7-Eleven, you can buy a bottle of Jack Daniels and a Slurpee. Or you can push the button right there on the machine and you add the alcohol right to your Slurpee. LOL, UK, I have to go to a liquor store, but when I live in Newfoundland, we could buy at a gas station. I'm in Alberta now. I've been to Alberta before. Pretty there. Marlboro Lights in a box. We would sell cases a day. Yeah. Martha Dickinson, I haven't welcomed you yet. Welcome. And Miss Wee Lassie, good morning and welcome. Sorry if I missed either one of you earlier. Martha Dickinson, they have I wish this was a joke. I don't understand why. I mean, I kind of get the idea behind it, but the newest trend around here is what they call bearskin baristas. They're drive-throughs where they stock them full of young women in bikinis or pasties in them, and they have these men lined up around the block for to go to these baristas to buy their coffee and stare at these young women who are standing inside of a little shack serving coffee. That's the newest thing here. But the same company that runs those, they have a drive-through margaritas and what's the other one? Margaritas and some other slushy like drink. But they can serve it to you and give it to you through a drive-through with the alcohol in it, as long as they keep a little piece of paper on the top of the straw. If they don't put that on there, they call it an open container. The moment you remove that, it's an open container. Sex sells. Coffee, sex sells just about everything. What are pasties? They're basically a sticker over the nipples. Yeah, Kmart and Target is our Tesco, Morris and Sainsbury's and Lindell's. I've never heard of Morrison's, Sainsbury's, or Lindell's. No, you don't need that at all. But they line these men up around the block to get it. It's a fad. It'll die off, and then they'll be gone. And Kiki Mercer, yeah, I'm with you there. Farm and fleet stores, all but one of our 7-Eleven stores are now QT stores. Kmart no longer here in Georgia, nor my home state, and neither do Sears stores. Yeah, Sears are all gone. I think the entire company went bankrupt. But with Kmart, the nearest Kmart to me is about 145 miles away. I know exactly where the store is. I just don't know what the distance is. So it's about 145 miles away. Lindell is German, but loads of them here too. Lady Yuck. Nearly bankrupt. Yeah. Oh yeah, JCPenney's huge here. And we have a mall that's about I want to say 25 miles from me or so. And JCPenney's, they have a JCPenney store. Then they have Miss Teens JCPenney's, and then they have a young children's JCPenney's on one end of the mall. So it's like they have the big giant JCPenney's, and they have the Miss Teens, and they have the children's store next to them. So they're like a U shape at the one end of the mall, and at the far end of the mall, they have a JCPenney's outlet center. And I hope they do well, and they are around for a long time. I know, with 2 women in my house, that about one of the only places they can actually go and buy dresses that are not meant for whores. And that's their word. They actually sell dresses that are fashionable. They are they fit their body style and size, and they're not low cut down to the nipple in the front or completely void of all the back and then showing down through their butt crack. It's hard, I guess, to find good women's dresses. I mean, I go to JCPenney's not for clothes. I go there because there are other things that JCPenney sells that I really like. But JCPenney's is still around and doing damn good here. Fred Meyer's. That's where I shop just about every week. Fred Meyer's Kroger. It's Fred Meyer's here. Back east, it's Kroger. But it's the same company. Costco. I got a Costco nearby. But 16 miles away. It's good thing to remember. I gotta check when my expiration date is on my Costco membership. We have Primark, Prime Man. Like the bathroom stuff. Jilly Willy, welcome. In case I missed you before. Where am I, Jilly Willy? I'm located in Washington State in the U.S. Originally from Wisconsin. Still travel back and forth, as much as I can. Stacy Payne. Hey, y'all, pray for me, please. My husband is being, I'm sorry, Stacy. And welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're well. And I'm sorry about your husband being a pain in the, you know where. Skaggs, is that a store? Washington. Just like George Washington, the name. My aunt and uncle used to live in Vancouver, Washington. It is beautiful there. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather live in Vancouver, Washington than across the river in Portland. A lot of weirdos in Portland. But then again, that's their goal. Keep Portland weird. You've been married since 1988. Well, I'm sorry. I hope it works out. Hippie love. Good morning, hippie. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Compared to Phoenix in the desert, I live in what's called a high desert plateau. Moving on to clean the kitchen, LOL. I've been updating my clean status while listening to you. Enjoying still. Thank you. And okay, Mom. I could spend all day long cleaning, and I do a lot of days. I clean and I clean and I clean, and then I turn around to the first place that I cleaned, like the kitchen, and it looks like a bomb went off in there. I never know what my child is going to do next. 31 years married. Wow, you get less for murder. See, you know what? My wife used to tell people jokingly, I was the one-night stand that wouldn't go away. And I told her last year when we on our, just after our anniversary, I didn't tell her on the anniversary, but I told her that she could have, killed me a long time ago, and she would have been out for parole, and 8 years in the Marines. Thank you for your service. Well, thank you, Natalie. I appreciate it. Never thought I'd hear Will talking about butt cracks. Never a dull moment on this channel. Good old Woolworths. 70% of my vinyl are from Woolies. Yeah, I have some very interesting pictures of me and my father at a Woolworths lunch counter when I was a little kid. Miss Woolworths a lot. They haven't had a Woolworths around here. I think the last one, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to date myself here, but the second company I'm going to talk about is still around, and damn it, I wish they were still here. So in the mall here, they used to have a Woolworths. No, this is not the same Woolworths that me and my father. We have pictures of us having lunch. We used to go to a Woolworths in downtown Chicago, and I used to eat egg salad sandwiches. My dad thought it was the most disgusting thing in the world, but then again, he used to eat liverwurst sandwiches, and I hated those. But so here in the mall here, when we first moved here, we moved from Wisconsin to here, and it is a giant culture shock moving from Wisconsin to here. Where we lived, everybody knew who you were. They knew your family. Everybody looked out for each other. And the moment we moved here, nobody would say hello to you. You'd say hi to people, and they just keep on walking, or they just stare at you. But the two places that we went to when we found him here, that we used to go to, that made us feel just a little bit at home, was Woolworths, and the lunch counter there, and the other place was Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. Does anybody remember Farrell's? They're still around. I follow them. You can actually follow them on Facebook. My mom worked at Woolworths when she was in high school in the 70s here in Phoenix. Jilly Willy, yes, remembers Farrell's. We used to have every one of our birthday parties at Farrell's. And I always wanted to, and one of these days I'm going to do it. So they used to have this giant ice cream platter thing with all these giant scoops of ice cream. It's probably only about that big, but to a little kid, it looked huge. I always wanted to take that ice cream challenge and eat that ice cream. And then have bananas and nuts and cherries and whipped cream and everything else. I want to do that. I got to find myself a Farrell's someday before I die. I got to find one. I want to eat one of those damn things. So that's why I follow them on Facebook. So I can follow and I find them. And then when I get to them, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to put the tripod on the camera, and a camera in front of me, and I'm going to eat that damn thing. Yeah. Miss Wee Lassie have never heard of Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell. Huh. Will Ferrell, the actor. No, Farrell's is the name of the ice cream parlor. They're around. I used to love Woolworth's Diner. Yeah. Hey, Mary. It was fun to chat with you all of you. It's a Saturday night here in Sweden. I'll fix a gin and tonic drink and watch the Johnny English. Have good dear friends. Good night, Will. Good night. Patty Keegan and just love Farrell's. They were one. There was one in Anaheim. Oh, sorry, you lonely blue mermaid. I'm really sorry, but I'm glad that we at least, coming here for the live streams gives you some enjoyment. I'm glad you're here. Dolly Madison. Ooh, liver. Yeah. I used to go on road trips with my father when I was a little kid. I was probably 4 or 5. And my mom used to make liverwurst sandwiches for us and he put them in like this little metal igloo cooler thing. It was just a small one that you could sit on a seat between the two of us. Never remember putting on a seatbelt. But he'd have a thermos full of coffee that went on top of this cooler. And he always had coffee. And we would stop because my father was a master carpenter and cabinet maker, on top of other, the million other traits that the man had. But he used to make furniture. And he would hear like about a story about them tearing down a barn 180 miles away, and we'd jump in the truck or the family station wagon with the trailer in tow, and go to this place where they're tearing down a barn just so he could get some pristine old growth timber. He loved it, but we'd pull over for lunch, and we'd open up the sandwich, we'd take the liverwurst off of mine and throw it onto his, and then I'd just eat the bread. Couldn't stand the stuff. Oh, gives me the shivers just thinking about it. Food halls. Ooh. Hey, I just made a chocolate brownie cake, and I can smell it from here, fresh out of the oven. All right, we got to find out where she lives. I gotta go over to Wee Lassie's for some chocolate brownie cake. That sounds good. I wonder if I could get my daughter to make me some brownies today. My daughter is an awesome baker. I can't bake, like desserts. I can't. For some reason, they never turn out right for me. My daughter, she can bake. She probably want me to pay her like $20 to make them though. Plus, make me buy all those supplies. Stacy Pankin, she can smell it all the way in Texas. Everybody say hi to Blue Mermaid. Tammy Kittrell. Hello, Tammy. How are you doing today? Okay. Not in the stream. I gotta go get coffee. There's nothing in there. I'll be right back. Right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Hi, I'm back. Oh, it took so long. Went in to go get coffee, and my 3-year-old was standing there next to the door, and hi, Alan. Standing there next to the door, and he couldn't get his Kindle Fire to turn on, so he can play his Sesame Street's phonics game. He is really enamored by this Sesame Street's phonics game. So it actually it goes through like the letters of the alphabet, and it has like a little mouth that goes ba ba ba. So it actually shows like the lips moving and sounding out the phonics for each letter. But he couldn't get the stupid thing to work. That's because he turned Wi-Fi off. So I had to sit there and go through the whole thing to get the damn Wi-Fi. That's why I was gone for so long. spaghetti bolognese tonight. Dang, that sounds good, Blue Mermaid. So what's Alan up to? Oh, I'm in frame. Sorry. Well, sorry to YouTube. Hello, Shmita. Got a couple of Dana Shmita and South Pole Shmita. I don't know if South Pole Shmita is still here, Alan. Janelle, how long have I been on? 1 hour and 41 minutes right now. We're gonna probably go about 2 hours. Then I'm gonna have to end it there. Alan is starting a new Saturday. All right. Feel like I'm going to sound like a paranoid crazy person. I need someone to how to do a word this autopsy my device. Bangers and mash. Bangers. Are those like hot dogs? I follow a YouTube channel out of the UK, the Traveling Trolls. Anybody ever heard of the Traveling Trolls or Traveling Trolls TV? Sausages, yeah. I'm kind of picking up the lingo from watching their channel, but so the guy that on the show, the Traveling Trolls, it's him and his fiance Mazzy. The two of them they live in an RV now, but Dan, the gentleman who's part of the show, he has another show that was on YouTube, and he's got a hell of a lot of subscribers. But he's formerly and always will be known as Deep Digger Dan. He does metal detecting videos, but now they do a little bit of that. But they're traveling around UK and living in a motorhome full time. The two of them, the Traveling Trolls. Poor Mazzy is ill. Yeah. Well, she has gallbladder issues, I think it is. You've never heard of the Traveling Trolls? You should watch them. They're actually, it's pretty interesting to, what it's like to live in a motorhome 24 hours a day. You never think about some of the things and issues that that come up in a mobile home. What? Hey, it's me. Good morning. How's my favorite Cubs fan? We're in Boston today. What's up, y'all? Go Cubs, your mom's favorite. Tree Baby, Tennessee. I don't know where I got the word tea from, but Baby, Tennessee. Good morning and welcome. Breaking Bad fan here. You know, I've never seen a single episode of Breaking Bad. You missed me last week. I'm sorry. I was away playing in a charity golf tournament. KS Smalls, good morning. Oh, Chanel lives near Wrigley Field. Never seen an episode of Sons of Anarchy either. Tell you just how little of television I actually watch. I've never seen an episode of The Sopranos. I've never seen Game of Thrones video. I've never seen an episode of that. There's a lot of popular television shows I've never seen. People talk about them all the time, and I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about them. Stranger Things. My wife and my daughter are totally into Stranger Things. They love that show, but I've never seen it. Never saw Breaking Bad either. No tell lie vision for me. No television. No television. I think the last time I watched like television and watched when I do watch television, which is on an extremely different strokes. What you talking about, Earl? Willis. We talking about Willis. That's what he used to say. Snap. Try and do laundry. Bye, Rain Dancer. I hope you don't have to get admitted to the hospital either. Take care. I'll pray for you. Hold on, everyone. I'm gonna write this down. Rain Dancer 98405. Make sure I add you to my prayers tonight before the end of the night. Hellraiser and Dracula last night. My wife and my daughter are really into sci-fi and things on the Sci-Fi Channel. But whenever I do watch television, and it's extremely rare that I ever do, I tend to gravitate towards the History Channel or the Discovery Channel. Rockford Files, James Rockford. I heard that they actually they were talking about doing a reboot of the Rockford Files. The writing of Sons of Anarchy is brilliant. Peg Bundy, LOL. I can't think of her real name right now. Her husband wrote that show and wrote her part specifically for her. Which one was hottest? Kathy Siegel? PBS? I watch the only thing I watch on PBS is Antique Roadshow. I love the MacGyver and Quantum Leap. Oh man, Quantum Leap was an awesome show. I love that. Sesame Street. I watch a lot of Sesame Street. Yep. A lot of Sesame Street. A lot of Elmo. Then nap time. Good day. Really nice chat. Try to catch next Saturday too. Are you taking off short and ice? You have a great day. Downington Abbey. Elmo. Tweed Baby, Tennessee. Curious George. My son doesn't really like Curious George. He's not into the monkey. Mr. Rogers. See, now I was really this is just tell you how disconnected I am. I was really super pissed when my son started watching Daniel the Tiger, and he has a little app on it on his Kindle Fire, and I'm sitting there watching it over his shoulder, and when I sit on my lap, and I'm like, this is freaking Mr. Rogers, but with a little tiger. And then I saw the intro. It's actually made by Mr. Rogers' company. But I mean, everything that was in Mr. Rogers. Ooh, there we go. Mr. Ed, the Talking Horse. Tailspin, Rescue Rangers. Whoa, EMC2. We are getting old. No, but I bet would ban them. Yeah, based on trigger warning, based on Mr. Rogers. Mr. Ed still cracks you up. Every once in a while, I'll watch try to remember the channel that it comes on here. Nick at Night, and they do reruns of the Dobie Gillis and I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, stuff like that. Michael Landon, Little House on the Prairie. What was the one that he did where he was a ghost? No, I mean, well, a ghost. He was an angel. What was the one with Michael Landon where he was an angel? Mindhunter. I don't know Mindhunter. Red Fox was great. My mother-in-law inherited a bunch of actual original paintings by from Red Fox. She has them in the basement of her house. Highway to Heaven. There we go, Patty. Thank you. That was a good show. I don't know. Do they make family programming like that anymore? I can still hear the intro music to that. Matlock. Matlock was a great show. Oh yeah, Red Fox was a damn good painter. Here's a little reference to it. Red Fox painted a lot of pictures of clowns, just like John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy painted a lot of pictures of clowns, and Gacy, when I can't remember what the interview was part of, but one of the interviews, he actually said that that Red Fox was one of his people he looked up to, is not a mentor, but somebody he admired for his style and everything of his clown paintings. You can Google it. Perry Mason. When I was a little kid, I'd come home from school. I think I was in first grade, preschool, something like that. Electric Company. 3, 2, 1, contact. Yeah, but I'd come home from school, and my mom used to set the TV trays up on the couch, and we used to eat saltine crackers with butter on them and watch Perry Mason. Beverly Hillbillies. The Electric Company. The Bloodhound Gang was the mystery version that was on the Electric Company. 3, 2, 1, contact. Whenever there's trouble, we're on the double. We're the Bloodhound Gang. Why is that still in my head after all these years? Andy Griffin. Zoom. I used to watch Zoom with my daughter. Yep. Will, you said you before you owned a bookstore, will you write a book or a children's book so your fans can buy it? I did own a bookstore. I owned it for over 20 years. Don't own it anymore. The last of the inventory is actually in my basement, and those big huge bins, tubs. My daughter has it. What's left of the inventory? Not very much. It's probably about 6,000 or 7,000 books. Well, that's quite a few books, but she has it, and she has plans on liquidating it all off at a local auction house, and then some of the stuff that she also plans on selling off on eBay. She just opened up an eBay account so she can liquidate out all the comic books and alike items that are easier and cheaper to ship. I Love Lucy, Carol Burnett Show, Dick Van Dyke. That's when TV was good. Yeah, damn right it was. That was when TV was something that was worth it. That's why I don't watch a lot of TV. And when I do watch TV, like I said, I watch the History Channel or the Discovery Channel. The Jeffersons, moving on up to the top. What was the spinoff of the Jeffersons? There was a spinoff of that. There's a Rockford, Illinois. It's below where Christopher Watts lives now. Wonder why some things stick in our heads from childhood programs. Yeah, I don't know. The one that it's still that I in my head, it pops in my head quite a bit is Rampart. Anybody remember Rampart? It was hospital drama show way before Archie Bunker. Archie, you could never have anything like Archie Bunker on television again. They would burn the movie studio down before anybody would allow Archie. He touched off so many different, and Archie Bunker, was that the spinoff? Schoolhouse Rock. I still have I have a video on my computer here of how a bill becomes a bill. Red Skelton. The Jeffersons was the spinoff of All in the Family. Yeah. Just imagine that, though. You couldn't have anything like that on television ever again. People are so dead set. I'm so lost. Lost was a show. It was a good show. Do I listen to music? If so, what kind? Debbie, welcome. In case I missed you before, I'm glad you're here. I listen to everything from classical to classic rock, and the rock and roll, heavy metal, punk, country. I listen to everything. I'll tell you how you know you're getting old. And this happened to me exactly. Me and my wife and my daughter, the three of us were sitting in a local Chinese restaurant that my wife absolutely adores, which, by the way, we were talking about restaurants earlier, used to be a Bob's Big Boy. But we're sitting in the restaurant and listening to this music on the thing. And I go, wow, what channel is this? And to the waitress, and she said, I'll go check. And she comes back and she's like, oh, that's the oldies channel. It was music from when I was a teenager. It's now on the oldies channel. That'll make you feel old in a heartbeat. Dallas or Denver Clan in Europe. Yes, I loved that show. What was the name of it? Dallas? Waltons. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Sue Ellen, Mary Ann. Loved the Waltons. That was a show. It was a good show. Damn good show. They don't have shows like that anymore. Who is Michael Landon? Well, he's an actor. He was on Highway to Heaven. He was father on Little House on the Prairie. Did you already talk about the letters from Watts and Cindy Watts' book? The reviews are terrible. I'm boycotting it, of course. Janelle, yeah, I've touched on it a couple of times. But in a nutshell, they have the right to write the book and make the movie. Constitutional right to express their opinions. And I won't be supporting either one. But nor do I feel at the same time, though, that either the movie or the book is hurtful towards the Rooshchek family. It's just, we talk about these things because we have a curiosity of it. So 8 is enough. Wow. Now there's a 70s show for you. Did anybody mention the Partridge Family? Since we're gonna talk about the 70s, right? Can't forget the Partridge Family. The Partridge, the Waltons are still on every night in the UK. I'm sure it's still on here. I just don't watch TV. Okay, so we're at the 2-minute mark, 2-hour mark. So we're going to wrap this up here. As soon as I'm done with this live stream, stick around on my and watch my channel. Immediately after this, I'm going to have part 1 and part 2 will come out almost immediately after part 1 launches of the Christopher Watts videos. I've spent the last 3 months researching the information that is within the video, both of the videos. Each video is 15 minutes long. That's why there's 2 of them. I had to break it up into 2 because another platform that I am going to be uploading them to, you can't upload videos that are over 17 minutes long. So I had to break it up into 2 15-minute blocks. But the videos are about the income and debt that the Watts family lived underneath. Now, I posted it in the community tab, and I got a lot of people who gave me flack already, and a lot of pushback, along with on Twitter and on Facebook, about that they think that I'm going to be, I'm profiting, and I'm doing this for my own profit. 100% of the proceeds from those 2 videos, along with every Christopher Watts video that I've ever done on the coverage of that, the profits from that will go to the United States Lupus Foundation. And the donation will be made in Shannon Rooshchek's name. And again, after that donation is made, I will come on the live stream and I will hold up the canceled check, obviously with our account number blocked out again, but I will show the check that it's actually been made to the Lupus Foundation. And I have no way profiting from it, and I will lose subscribers, and I will lose, obviously, financially, because it's not free to make these videos. But later on tonight, after those 2 videos run, I will have a 3rd video that will be uploaded tonight that is just about freedom of speech, and if me making the videos about the Watts family is in any way victimizing the Rooshchek family, or if I report on other videos about true crime, if it victimizes the remaining family and friends. So that's later on tonight. That probably won't be until about 7 o'clock here on the West Coast, Pacific Daylight Time. But those 2 videos on the Watts' income and debt are going to be following this live stream. Ruby Red has lupus now, and it definitely needs to. The Lupus Foundation and those with lupus definitely need to draw more attention to it. It's serious, and as you know, Red Ruby, it's not something that just you can wish it away, or you can take a pill and all of a sudden the side effects of lupus is gone. And for those who those naysayers out there who say that Shannon could have just done something and it would have went away and she really wasn't sick, it's hogwash. So I'm going to end this stream here, everyone. Oh, Rupo's going to watch Fantasy Island with Tech 2. The plane. Everyone, thank you again for joining me today. I hope you all stay safe out there. And Rain Dancer, if you're still here, I've added you to my my prayers for tonight, and I will as well add you, Red Ruby, as well. Thank you, everyone, again. Have a good weekend.